Hi, I'm Velshi with MSNBC. Recent reporting and testimony from Facebook whistleblower Frances Haugen have amplified calls for the regulation of social media platforms. Joining me now for a more perfect union is Jeffrey Rosen, president and CEO of the National Constitution Center. Jeff, I mean, you are able to explain very, very complicated problems, but this one has been vexing us for years. Tell us about some of the proposed reforms and whether they would be legal and or constitutional.
Well, the proposed reforms range from banning false or harmful speech on social media, mandating the algorithms so that they can't amplify false or harmful conduct, or making the platforms liable for disinformation. The big problem is the First Amendment. Ali, there's a case that the Supreme Court decided in 2012 called United States versus Alvarez. And Justice Kennedy wrote in that case, our constitutional tradition stands against the idea that we need Oceana's ministry of truth. And the basic idea is that Congress can't get in the business of deciding what is true and what's false or asking anyone else to do that. That case involved a law that made it a crime to falsely claim that you'd gotten a military decoration. And the court struck that down on the grounds that you're allowed to lie about whether or not you got a medal because Congress can't decide what's true. So that is a big problem against most of the proposals to regulate misinformation and disinformation. What could be done? Well, you could say that if speech has clearly been judged to be false or defamatory, it has to come down. That would be a narrow category of speech. You could try to regulate anonymous speech, but that would run into the First Amendment as well. You might be able to regulate false and misleading advertising or regulating the bots that target particular ads. But the bottom line is that the most immediate thing Congress can do is get more data, find out, are the algorithms actually responsible for promoting this false and harmful speech? Or does it turn out the reason that people are going down these rabbit holes on Facebook and social media is because they want to, not because they're being nudged to by the algorithms? So it turns out, as you said, to be a very complicated problem as a policy matter. But as a constitutional matter, as long as the Supreme Court sticks to its belief that Congress can't decide what's true and what's false, the First Amendment may be a very big bar to a lot of regulation.
And that's been a pretty durable belief on the Supreme Court. So any legislation or regulation of this is going to have to be very, very sophisticated to make sure that it stands the legal test. Jeff, good to see you as always. Jeffrey Rosen is the president and CEO of the National Constitution Center. Be sure to follow Jeff and the National Constitution Center on Twitter, Rosen Jeffrey and Constitution CTR.